Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. I do have one quick favor before we get to the video that you came here for, and that is very simply this. You see that little red subscribe button below this video? Go ahead, smash that subscribe button. It really does help me. It really does help this channel grow and my audience grow. So go ahead and hit that red subscribe button. And now, here is the video that you came here for. All right, everybody. I'm back. Good to be back. Do want to begin to wrap the show. Do want to hit on the other three games that happened on Thursday night in the Sweet 16. And it's interesting, right? Because I was thinking about this as I prepped the show today, is that really, when I prep this show, what I would say is every day I'm thinking about this show, and I'm thinking about, okay, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to hit on? What's the topic of the day? But on a night like Thursday, where I know I'm going to be reacting to the games, you even start to think, okay, what could be the topics possibly coming out of these games? Certainly, I thought it was at least a possibility that Gonzaga lost. Certainly, I definitely thought it was a possibility that Arizona was going to lose to Houston. But the one thing that I really thought really could happen was that today's show could be the day that we were talking about the end of the Coach K era at Duke. That Texas Tech was the right team on the right night to knock off the Duke Blue Devils, and for Coach K, for the retirement tour to come to an end, and for Coach K to ride off into the sunset. Instead, the exact opposite happened. Duke 78, Texas Tech 73, much like Arkansas Gonzaga, much like all four games really on Thursday night, the better team won, the more deserving team won, and for the second game in a row, Duke was the team that looked like the veteran, experienced, tough, mentally tough team. And as the game went final and as everybody, all the accolades are coming down, I kind of had one quick thought. I sat there and I said to myself, in a tournament where nobody was making the argument for Duke, is Duke now actually the favorite throughout the rest of this tournament? And let's get into Thursday night's game a little bit, because what I would say is this. It goes back to what I said a minute ago, is that I really thought when looking at Duke's path, I thought this would be the game where they get tripped up. I thought they'd be fine in the opening round against Cal State Fullerton. I got a lot of things wrong in my bracket. I did pick them to play Michigan State in round 2, but I said, look, Michigan State's physical, Michigan State's tough. Michigan State's just not very skilled, though. They're not the team that's going to take down Duke. But then I saw Texas Tech, and I said, that might be the actual team right there. They're tough. They're older. They're experienced. It kind of goes back to what I said last segment with Arkansas. They know who they are. They play the same every single night, regardless of who the opponent is, a lot like Arkansas, a lot like the Houston team, a lot like the Villanova team that we're going to talk about in a minute. And I really thought that this could be the game. Texas Tech, top 20 nationally in field goal percentage defense, top 20 nationally in scoring defense. They defend, they're physical. Duke really hasn't seen anybody quite like them all year. This could be the night, people, that it goes down. Instead, for the second straight game, Duke's team, that's basically all freshmen and sophomores, they were the ones that looked like the more mature, confident, some may say arrogant team down the stretch. First of all, Duke's guys were outstanding all game long, okay? You can criticize Duke left and right. It's hard to criticize this team. Paolo Banchero, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists in this game. Mark Williams was a beast. I'll say this. I've been saying all year, everybody's talking about A.J. Griffin's the X factor with this team. But no. I was there against Gonzaga that night where Mark Williams took over late against Drew Timme. Mark Williams is the X factor, 16 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, a dunk that shook the earth in the second half. And on top of that, oh, by the way, A.J. Griffin, I just mentioned 11 points, Wendell Moore 12, and Jeremy Roach was phenomenal, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He has really become a star in this tournament. Beyond that, what I would say, exactly what I just said a minute ago. Duke, with a bunch of young guys who has never been here before, was the more confident team late in the game. Much like the Michigan State game, they were down late. They were down 68-66 with 3 minutes to go. Texas Tech takes the lead. Kevin McCullough, a third, fourth-year guy in that program, been there, done it. He was part of that 2019 Final Four team, so I guess he's a fourth-year player. Makes a big shot, takes a 2-point lead, and I think, we'll take out the notepad and start paying attention because this could be where Duke falls. Instead, the exact opposite happens. Paolo Banchero comes down, bangs a 3 from there. Duke goes on, and they score 12 of the final 17 points to win this game and to pull out the victory and to advance to the Elite Eight. So first of all, let me say this. Credit to Duke. Duke's got some dudes. Duke's got some players. And that really was my single biggest takeaway from this game, okay? It was so funny after the game. And listen, I don't blame my guys and girls in the media, right? Guys and girls in the media, they wrap their head around very simple concepts, okay? And so there is no simpler concept than, oh my goodness, Duke survives. They live to fight another day for Coach K. And I sat there and thought to myself, like, look, and by the way, everybody did that. It wasn't just like, blogger in the basement that nobody knows. Like Jim Nantz was talking about on the broadcast. Jim Nantz is a legend. I love Jim Nantz, so I'm not criticizing Jim Nantz. But everybody is wrapping their head around Coach K this, Coach K that. He survives, he advances, he blah, 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 blah. You know what I sat there and thought? I said, look, there's no disrespect to Coach K. That had absolutely nothing to do with Coach K and everything to do with this. Coach K has the dudes. Coach K has the best players in the tournament, and we can talk about Coach K and X's and O's and scheme and this and that. No. Coach K's players went out and won that game, and Coach K has better players than anybody in this tournament. In a lot of ways, you know what it actually reminded me of? Do you guys remember during football season, there was essentially a 2-day stretch that sealed Dan Mullen's fate, that he was inevitably going to be fired as the Florida Gators head football coach. And the reason why was pretty straightforward. He plays Georgia at the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, and Florida got their butt kicked. And that's okay. Everybody got their butt kicked by Georgia except for Alabama this year. And so Florida gets their butt kicked, and after the game, Kirby Smart, the Georgia coach, is asked about the game and the butt kicking, and you just killed your rival. And what does it mean for you, and what does it mean for your coaching staff? And Kirby Smart was basically like, dude, I'd love to sit here and pat myself on the back and talk about how great I am and how great my schemes are. He's like, I got great players, and this is a player sport. And give all the credit to the 85 guys in that locker room, because this had nothing to do with me. Our players just went out and executed and did what they did, and I'm blessed to have these incredible players on my roster and in my locker room. Then the next day, Dan Mullen is asked the same question. And he says, we don't really talk about recruiting here during the season. We'll talk about recruiting after the season. And that was when it became clear, oh, wait a second. Dan Mullen doesn't understand that it ain't about scheme. It ain't about what you're doing on the whiteboard. It ain't about all your little plays and your playbook and your play sheet. It's about, do you have dudes or not? Kirby Smart does. Dan Mullen doesn't. And let's go fire Dan Mullen and find us a guy that can get us those dudes that can compete with Kirby Smart and, of course, Nick Saban and everybody else in college football. And so to bring it back to Thursday, that's what it reminded me of. We can sit here and pat Coach K on the back and do every press conference. And by the way, this is no disrespect to Coach K. He's the one that brought all these guys in. But at the end of the day, there's no game plan. There's no whiteboard. There's no anything you can draw up to do what Paolo Banchero does. He's 6'10", and he can bang in the post, but he can also step out and hit big threes. He can also take guys off the dribble. He can also finish through contact. There's nothing you can draw up to have Mark Williams, 7'1", with a 7'5" wingspan, dunking on the entire state of Texas. There's nothing you could draw up with Jeremy Roach being a former McDonald's All-American, a couple injuries, he's coming on slow, making plays down the stretch. And so when I look at Duke, it's not really about Coach K. It's all about the players in that locker room. It's about that 5 that was on the court to close the game. And I'm just telling you, when I watched that game, it was about the players, it wasn't about Coach K, and it was about one final thing. It was about this. It was about, is Duke now the favorite to win the national championship? And it was funny, right? Because after the game, my mom texted me, and my mom is from Connecticut like I am. She's a UConn fan like I am. And like every other fan base in America, Duke has brought UConn heartbreak. Now, UConn took care of Duke a few times in the tournament, 99, 2004, no big deal. But Duke is reviled in Connecticut like they are everywhere else. And my mom texts me and says, I think Duke's going to win it all. And sometimes, I'm the son that knows everything and I got all the answers. And I looked at the bracket and I said, Mom, you're right. Look at who is left in this NCAA tournament. First of all, we know who's gone. We know that at this point, Arizona's gone, Gonzaga's gone, Baylor's gone. Only number 1 seed left is Kansas. Kentucky's gone, Auburn's gone, Tennessee's gone, 3 really good teams. And so I bring it up. Illinois is gone, Big Ten champ. Wisconsin's gone, good team. Look at who's left in this tournament. Yeah, I think Kansas is good. But is Kansas better than Duke on Duke's best day? I don't think they are. Providence, really great story. I think they're going to have success against Kansas tonight, at least keep things close. Don't know if they'll win. That's the team that's going to beat Duke and end the Coach K thing. Purdue, really good. Never been to a Final Four. Now they're going to knock off Coach K. Oh, by the way, Villanova and Houston are awesome. They play on Saturday. The winner goes to the Final Four. The loser goes home. And so I bring it up because think about the teams that are left. Whether it is Nova, whether it is UCLA, whether it is UNC, whether it is Purdue. Who do you sit there and say, man, they're going to give Duke fits? Maybe it's Arkansas. We just talked about Arkansas. But Arkansas, great story, but Duke's got 5 NBA players in their starting lineup. And so I'm not going to belabor the point. Congratulations to Duke. They advanced. The better team won. Again, I'll go back to it, and we'll talk about these other 2 games and wrap the show. I thought the better team won in all 4 games. I don't think it was about the refs, the whistles, CBS wants this team or TBS wants this team in the Final Four. I thought the 4 best teams won on Thursday. I thought Duke stepped up. I thought they were a worthy team. And congratulations to the Duke Blue Devils on advancing. And I'm telling you, I really do think that this team might now be the favorite